Hello, today I will introduce a new app, spID. spID is an application that enables users to search about the spider that suddenly appears on user side with the image or the name. Apple provides access to spider database, provides information about the spider as the application classifies the spider, and it will be saved on the gallery so users can access on to remind about the past appear spider and able to track faster when same species appear again. Worst case scenario, users able to get emergency advice and direct call to 000 through the emergency section of the application. Application helps the users to prepare the further dangers about the spider through the spider map, which allows what species of spiders exist in the area and provides detailed information about the spider through the spider database. As living in Australia, facing a known spider happens often, as everyone knows, and spID is the application that will help the users struggling to find what spider it is, simply with an image, and provide various informations and solutions to keep users safe and informed.
When developing, we looked at other software solutions in the marketplace, such as FishBrain, Critterpedia, Identifier, and Insect and Spider ID, and identified key points of interest to reference and possibly develop within our application to meaningfully target the gap in the marketplace of animal identification. The first point to develop was an image search function, as all the competing applications had this as their primary identification method. Off the back of the image detection was a gallery function to save said photos for later reference. The next was emergency advice for any incidents that have occurred with the spiders in question. There was a noticeable gap in the market here, so we decided to develop emergency advice into our application that can be found immediately on the home screen. We also discovered a map function to show the locations of identified spiders, which was missing in all other applications, so we developed the map as a predominant feature. Lastly, we found that the social community was a large part in all the apps we analysed. However, we weren't interested in the social aspect of the identification apps, as the social aspects would most likely not be utilised by our target user demographic. When developing spID, we identified two main user demographics. The first one was autodidact Aaron, and the second was scared Sam. These two personas show the extremes while still defining the average users of the app. The persona of autodidact Aaron is one of general intrigue and is always finding to find something new to understand. He uses the application whenever he finds a new spider to investigate and records new spiders in the gallery feature for future reference. Aaron also uses the map function to find new types of spiders in certain areas to gain further knowledge about spiders. The persona of Scared Sam, on the other hand, is someone who is quite scared of spiders and uses the application sparsely and for a very specific use case. That is, to find out if the spider in his room is dangerous to him and how he's going to get rid of it. He uses the spider scan feature to identify the spider and determine its danger, and that's it.
Hello, my name's Matthew Earp, and today I'll be presenting how Scared Sam and Autodidact Aaron would use the spID app in example scenarios. The first scenario involves Scared Sam, who's a student studying one night when he sees a spider on the wall. Being scared of spiders, Sam wants to identify whether the spider is dangerous and how to get rid of it. Upon opening the app, Sam finds himself on the home screen. Sam wants to identify the spider, so he opens Spider Search. Sam doesn't know the name of the spider, so he chooses to search by image. Sam takes a picture of the spider and is then able to resize it as needed. After he's happy with it, he uploads it and gets back the results of visually similar spiders. Seeing that the spider is closest to a huntsman, he opens the info page on the huntsman. Seeing that its toxicity is mild, it's not aggressive, and that it's relatively safe to catch and release, he decides to catch it in a container, release it outside, and get back to studying. The second scenario involves autodidact Aaron, who's a spider enthusiast on holiday in Sydney. Having heard of the lethal funnel web spider, he decides to read up on them more while travelling on the bus. Knowing the name of the spider, Aaron opens Spider Search. Search by name, and starts typing funnel web into the search bar. Partway through typing, he notices it's the only result, and he opens the FunnelWeb's info page. After reading up on the FunnelWeb spider, he decides to find out what other spiders are in the area, so he goes back to the home screen via the spider icon in the top left, opens Spider Map, and places a pin on the map near where he's currently traveling. He widens the search range with the slider bar and hits Search Area. Looking through the results, his eye is caught by the bright colors of the peacock spider, so he opens its info page and starts reading. While reading through the peacock spider's information, he remembers another small spider that he took a picture of back in Brisbane, but he can't remember the name of. He goes back to the home screen and opens My Gallery to look for his photo. Finding the photo he was looking for, he learns the spider is called the pelican spider. Wanting to know more about it, he opens its info page and begins reading. Shortly after, the bus is nearing his stop, so he closes the app and alights with more spider knowledge than he embarked with.
For this project, we undertook an iterative development process for our prototype to realize our idea. To show our process, we'll go through the image spider search feature to discuss in detail the implemented changes at each stage. We begin with the low fidelity prototype, where we started with a search bar that includes the photo of the spider the user has taken and wants to identify. The results were presented in 2 columns below. In the medium fidelity prototype, an X button was implemented as users wanted to replace the existing photo with a new photo. A bigger version of the user's photo was also applied, giving the option for users to compare their photo with the results presented. From the medium to high fidelity, the search bar was removed as users were only using the X button, which was translated onto the user's photo instead for a simpler interface. The presented results were also changed to a single column from the medium fidelity onwards, as each image could be enlarged for better visibility and experience. Overall, we can see that there is a gap in the market where our app, spID, can outperform its competitors. So the next time you have a spider in your room and want to safely and effectively remove it, use spID.